Yay Networks.
Greetings.
Oh, salutations.
Just every time in my brain, I'm thinking hello, or all those, really.
Aloha.
Bonjour. Any other language you want?
Hola.
I'm Laura.
Oh, I'm Emily. And this is
Cheers to That Shit.
Auf Wiedersehen. Bye. The end.
You're like me. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm Laura and you're Emily and this is our podcast. But
Here we are.
Should
we do a quick, if you're listening to the first time of this podcast?
Sure.
Well, I'll do it. So we work in the wedding industry, and Laura's been doing it for 95 years. I've been doing it for one.
I'm just a little grandma over here.
And we, this whole podcast started because we decided that there was no real shitty actual people giving you
shitty people. There's no shitty
people out there. And we're going to be that shitty person for you. But there's no place where people who are getting married can actually get real advice.
Exactly.
We're not wedding planners. We're not photographers. We're not DJs or a venue or blah, 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 blah. We produce wedding shows. So we work with all of these vendors in the wedding industry.
We hear all the stories. We're like the hairdressers of the industry.
That is exactly what we are.
You know, you get when you go get your hair done and you just spill. They're like your therapists.
Yes.
That's what we are.
Because we hear it from both couples and wedding pros.
Yes.
So
mostly wedding pros. They would come into the office and just plop down on the couch and they'd be like, hey, y'all, so what's going on?
We're like, yeah, we're working.
We were at this wedding last week and we'll hear couple stories from them. We'll hear other vendor stories from them.
Anyway, so long story short, we decided that there wasn't any place for couples to come and get real advice from people who weren't pushing themselves as the product.
Right.
And we were like, you know what? We're going to fucking do this shit.
Yeah.
And so now there's a place where couples can come who are getting married.
Right here on our little couch.
Sit on our little couch with us. And we just give very honest, unsolicited advice. And it's all our opinions. So, take it with what you will.
I mean, I have those 95 years of experience. So that should speak for something.
I'm brand new here. So I don't really know what I'm talking about. I just like to talk.
I mean, I'm married. I have a kid married. So that qualifies me right there, y'all.
That's it. That's our qualification. Any questions? I didn't think so.
Oh, gosh.
What's been going on in your life? How was Mother's Day?
Yeah.
We record a little bit in advance.
Yeah.
We were just talking about if we don't talk about Mother's Day, we don't have anything else to talk about.
Yep.
Because we're
my kids did really well. Of course, for me, your kids are little, so your husband is still, buying you gifts from your kids. And, I used to remind Dom, don't forget it's Mother's Day. And he's like, you're not my mom. I'm like, oh,
boy.
Alrighty. Well, the kids are old enough to know.
Now.
And they could easily say, hey, Dad, can you take me to the store to get something for Mom? Now they all drive and whatever, they're adults. So, but they did a good job. I got some flowers. I got a gift card. I got a new koozie, like a can koozie thing. So I was really happy. They all remembered, they did a good job of pretending they remembered. I don't know how they found out that it was Mother's Day, but they came through. And I got to sit by the pool all day and just hang out.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
I did the same thing. We went and picked strawberries on Saturday, and Ryan grilled out, and I picked a movie to watch Saturday, and it was like a super girly rom-com. And he was like, I love it. Thanks so much for this. And I was like, oh, absolutely. And then Sunday, I didn't get out of bed until 10:30. I mean, of course I was awake at 7:30 because my internal alarm clock.
Yeah.
But I was like, nah, I'm not moving. Ryan was like, do you want to come down and get your coffee? I was like, nope. No, I don't. I turned on Will and Grace. Did you just lay in
bed and scroll on your phone?
Well, I turned on Will and Grace, and then I did some scrolling, and he did bring my coffee up, and then him and the girls brought my presents up, and I opened them, and I was like, okay, thanks, bye. Scoot, get out of here.
I'm not done with my morning.
I'm not done yet. So then I was finally ready to awaken. I put my feet on the floor, went to my parents' house, and
sat by the pool.
Put
your ass.
I just moved my ass from one place to another. And then we made pizza and s'mores.
Yeah, I had to pull a couple like, can you get this for me? It is Mother's Day, or,
Yeah.
can you go upstairs and get my phone and glasses? I left it there. It is
It is
Mother's
Mother's
Day.
Day. So I'm not going to.
Right.
Oh my
But
goodness.
overall, it was good. It was good.
Well, good. We deserve it. We
We
do so
do.
much. We work so hard for these fucking people.
We do. I think we do.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
I know I do.
I know I do. Damn. Anyway, what you're all really here for.
I mean, while we're talking about what people do for other people, that's kind of what we're talking about today, like wedding party responsibilities and
Yeah.
what they do for the couple.
Yeah, I like that. That was a
That's
nice little
a
segue.
very original segue,
That was
right?
good. Yeah, I liked it. That was super smooth. Came in nice, swept us in, made us want to know more. I like it a lot.
Because that's what you're here for.
That's the kind of professionals we are. Okay. But yes, we are talking about wedding party responsibilities. At the actual wedding. We've talked about in a previous episode more like the batch party responsibilities and what that looks like the financial aspects of it. But today we're going to be talking about the big day responsibilities.
The actual responsibilities.
The actual responsibilities.
Yeah. Or what, I mean, how do I word this? Do people even know that there actually are responsibilities that go along with being in a wedding party?
Great question. I'm going to answer this.
Okay.
Because I know the answer immediately, and it's the right one, of course. I think that when you get married young, like in your early 20s, no.
Yeah.
I don't think so. Because one, it's probably the first time that any one of your friends have gotten married.
Right.
So you're just in this like, oh yeah,
La La
fucking
Land.
weddings. I'm going to get drunk and dance the night away.
Yeah.
Like,
I was
take
asked to be the maid of
pictures.
honor.
Yeah. And you have no idea what that fucking means.
Yeah.
As you get older, you get into your late 20s. And even as you go through more weddings, even if you're getting married in your 30s, yes, you do start to know. I think one of that becomes like, you just become more responsible as an adult.
Yeah.
So you kind of like, well, this is what I would want someone to do for me. Like, let me help you. And you're in your early 20s. No offense to anyone who's listening to us in your early 20s. You're still selfish.
Yeah.
Like, you're still not thinking like, if this was my wedding, how would I want my maid of honor to treat me? So no, I do not think the younger crowd that's getting married
fully understands all of the responsibilities that are supposed to go along, like traditional that have been, kind of carried down that are supposed to go along. So we'll get into all that.
But going off the wedding party and the responsibilities, one thing that I want to bring up, because we talk about all the time, like staying true to yourself and keeping with what you and your partner are wanting to do, like identifying with your wedding, how you want it to be seen. So are wedding parties even necessary? And of course the answer is no. You do not have to have a wedding party. This is a group of support people who are there for you throughout the day, throughout your entire engagement. You can still be supported by your friends and family, your close friends, whatever, without actually having a wedding party.
Well, yeah, like an assigned role.
Right. But know that on that day of, and this is probably more for people who are getting married at the courthouse or having some type of very small elopement or mini moni or whatever, that don't really need
an entire
wedding party. Like maybe you have a maid of honor or best man or best woman, however, like maybe you have like that, but like, anyway, so no. And if you are going to have a wedding party, there's a cute formula, as Laura put it.
I know. I didn't even know there was a formula.
I'm here to break down. I'm good at math.
Oh my God. I was just talking about that this morning, like how many episodes that we've done where we're like, and this, don't come at me with the math.
Yeah.
And you're like, and $1 to $3 for favors at 150, like
perfect.
whatever.
That's exactly what that
perfect.
Math is.
You did math.
So, but this formula is easy and I can do this math. For every 50 for every 50 guests that you have, you need 2 attendants. So if you're going to have,
well, that just keeps the average of people who are part of the wedding party kind of comparable to the amount of people that are there.
So I've seen,
they're not actually assigned to anybody. Like these are your
these are your attendants. These are your
here.
attendants.
You 2 attendants have these 50 guests over here. You are guiding them throughout the whole weekend experience.
Yep. Thank you so much. Just follow the purple flag.
I'll take 1 through 50 over here. If y'all could line up in birth month
A through
and
M.
then day.
Hey, through M, you're here. Oh shit, that was funny.
I try.
But for like, I've seen this so many times where people will have like 10, especially girls. And I love you girls. I love that you have all these fucking friends, but like, no fucking way. Okay. Chill the fuck out. If you have 100 guests and 10% of those guests are standing up at the fucking altar with you, you've done too much.
Yeah, that was me.
I don't have 10 friends. No fucking way. If you have 10 friends, and we've talked about this before and it fucking annoys me, but you also have, you had your sisters.
Well, yeah,
Dom's
it was just
sisters.
family.
But that's different. That's family.
My sisters, his sisters, my girl cousins, and my 3 best friends.
Right. So if she didn't have to have that family pressure on her, she would have had her 2 sisters and her 3 friends. And that would have been 5. And that would have been it. Which is what normal people do. No offense. Like
there was nothing normal about my wedding.
But you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So it's just take that into, into your little mindset when you're asking people to be in your
there's
wedding
no
party.
rule.
No.
You don't have to have every sorority sister that you went to college with, or every best friend that you've had since kindergarten.
Listen, a wedding is a great time to break ties with people.
Yeah. You don't even have to have like all your siblings or have your siblings be on the other side of the wedding party. It's a lot. That isn't, doesn't need to happen.
No. So, think of who you want to support you on that day, give them a role, and then tell them what to do. And that's it. Have a good day. I'm just kidding.
Bye.
We're going to take a break and we're going to come back. We're going to break down all of the actual roles of a wedding party, who's in there, including the parents and the officiant and what all their responsibilities are.
The mob.
The mob.
The mob, the fob, the mog, and the fog.
Red fish, blue fish, one fish, two fish. Okay, we're taking a break.
Back in a flash.
And we're back.
Oh, okay.
It's time. It's time. We've done too much during the break. Talking about burritos. I don't know what's going on. All right.
Okay.
So let's break down the 2 most important people. And it's not the people getting married. It's your Mo and your best man or woman.
Your best woe.
Your best whoa.
Mo and woe.
Mo and woe. Whoa.
Well, you have woe and then man.
Whoa, man.
I know. I was trying to make a joke, but we can skip over that
I'll
part.
cut that out. I was kidding. So your Mo and we'll just say
like your right
right
hand
now.
peeps.
Yeah. Oh yes, we are really taking we're just bringing a whole new language today. So those are going to be your 2 main support people, and on your day of your wedding, especially for the bride, who has probably done most of the planning, or whoever that person is that's done most of the planning, that day is very overwhelming. And a lot of people are coming to that person, the default, like,
where do you want this? Where do you
fiancé.
want that? What time is this? You have 10 more minutes.
So typically your right-hand peeps will be that point of contact. So like for me, I know I've told this story before, but a huge hurricane came through the week before my wedding, and people were texting me, asking me questions like, hey, what about this? Hey, what about that? And I was like, you know what? And I'm out. This is no longer going to be my conversation. Yeah. Everyone, please look to Ashley. She will be answering all further questions. And that was it. Like, I was like,
and that actually, I think is a good idea to establish that before, like maybe at the bachelorette party or the at least like a week before. Maybe you just kind of address that at least the other people in the bridal party know that if guests come to you or anything happens or anybody comes to you or somebody needs to know something, my maid of honor or whoever's standing up, your support person is going to be the go between.
Yeah. I'm not
even if they have to come to you to ask something, but
at least then it's just one person.
Yeah, because I think people don't realize how much stress and pressure is on a couple that day, and all of the things that they have to do, all the places they have to be at particular times. There's just a lot of moving pieces.
Yeah. So they also will give speeches. Which is great. We actually just talked about that recently. So y'all go back and listen to that episode.
Yeah, that was a great episode, I thought. Anyway, it was good. And you should go back to and refer to it.
We are
I just didn't want to go
on
down
it today.
I didn't want to go down a rabbit hole.
Yeah, no. So they're gonna give those speeches, those toasts, and then also if you're doing a traditional like things in a traditional manner, typically the best man or the person standing next to the groom. I'm just gonna interject myself here. I hate having to be like, oh, traditionally, best man, best woman, like whatever. Like we need a term. There needs to be like new terms for these people. Oh my God, I just spit. There needs to be new terms for these people because I don't want to offend anybody. And then I get in my brain. Anyway, I'm just going to say traditionally, the best man holds on to the rings.
Right.
Ryan's best man did. But at another wedding that I was the maid of honor at, we held on to each other's rings.
Yeah.
So I held the groom's and then his best man held the bride's.
Yeah. And
So-
I mean, we talk probably beat a dead horse about doing what feels good for you and what you're comfortable
Yeah.
with. I mean, there's a million ways you can handle that. So in terms of talking about all of these different ideas and different roles, I think it's fine to just say traditionally because that is like the majority.
Yeah, unfortunately. Bridesmaids and groomsmen. So anyone in your wedding party, they are just like the obvious. They're going to go to showers. They're going to do the batch parties, and the rehearsal dinner, any travel. So their roles are a little bit more focused on the financial aspect of it. And like I said, we have gone down that path before and it can be expensive, but that's kind of they're really there to be more supportive and to help celebrate and keep everything together. I know for a couple of weddings, like the entire wedding party will kind of help come to the venue and just like put things together or, so it kind of depends on what your budget is and the DIY aspects or, whatever's happening that day, but they are a little bit more hands-on and then
just like your cheerleaders.
Yes.
I'm just coming out with all the terms.
Absolutely like your I just hit my absolutely like your cheerleaders. And then at the rehearsal dinner, if you choose at the rehearsal dinner to open it up to like toasts from anyone, they can make their toast then, unless you specifically assign them a speaking part at your wedding.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I think a great piece of advice that I came across and a while ago was if you have a lot of people that want to say something, it's a good idea to let them speak, or if you want to let them speak, to do that at the rehearsal and leave the main toast for the reception. Because if you start letting a bunch of people start talking at the reception, it's going to get out of control. Yeah. So if anybody really feels like if the mom and dad want to say something or, the parents or grandparent or whoever might want to say something, it's a good idea to get that out of the rehearsal.
Yeah. And then you have your ushers and, did Jackie have ushers at her wedding?
Just the groomsmen.
Okay. Yeah. I was going to say, we didn't have specific ushers. It was groomsmen, but if you choose, like if your, fiance, whatever, if there's people in their life that they're like, or even you, if you're like, we don't have a role for, let's say your brother, they don't need to be in your partner's wedding party or in your wedding party because you already have your max people because you're going off of the formula we gave you earlier, but you want them to be involved.
There's lots of things, especially for younger kids too, that might be not old enough to be in the wedding party, but too young to be like a flower girl.
Yeah.
I mean, they could stand where the guest book is when people come into church or just welcome them, hand out
something. Yeah, you can find roles, but typically like what an usher will do is just like welcome guests and then take them to seats.
Right.
I do feel like that's kind of starting to go away because people are so much more now just like sit wherever you want.
Right.
I do want to like say, and I think all wedding planners should do this, is that like 5 minutes before the wedding, once everyone has had their seat, to have everyone fill in the gaps. Seats, move forward, squish together, and then take away those empty chairs. There are a couple pictures I look back at, and they were just like empty chairs, and I'm like, why?
Or like 2 people and the rest of that row is empty.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like why? You idiots.
Well,
were you not thinking about my pictures?
Right. I was just going to say, for all those detail oriented people, that's like a biggest, like, oh God, those empty. I wish somebody had been sitting on that row.
Yes,
Or,
yeah.
I know exactly what you're talking
So
about.
that is just my little tidbit. If you're having an usher or whatever, just please encourage to fill in the gaps.
Yep.
And if you don't have ushers, your groomsmen can kind of be those people, or just tell your wedding planner, yo.
Or if you get married in a Catholic church, there's always the men of the church, you know, the mafia, Catholic church mafia, I call them. You know, the men in church who like pass the offering thing around, and they're just,
I
anywho.
hate to say I haven't been to church in a while.
Okay.
So then the flower girl and ring bearer, if you choose, this is if you choose to have kids at your wedding, I feel like the flower girl and ring bearer is like, just, it's a no for me. I think they're really cute, and I think pictures look super cute. And if they're young, that's where it's like a big no.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, that's just no point.
I think a great way, if you really want them in your wedding, and if they are fairly young, like young enough that you just don't know which way it's going to go.
Yep.
It's either going to be like, look at me, I'm parading down the aisle,
Yeah.
or screaming, crying fit. I have seen, because most of the time their parents are in the wedding party.
Yep.
So maybe if the mom is a bridesmaid, they go last down the aisle and she can hold her hand and go with them. I think anything to keep the kids in their normal routine without making all these expectations on them that, like a 2-year-old isn't good. And we've talked about that before too. So, I mean, some people just, they have to have all the
all
kids.
the bells and whistles. So, if you have that, they obviously have flower girls going to do the little flower petals or whatever the fuck you want to do. And then the ring bearer, just do not give the ring bearer the actual rings. I don't feel like that is necessary for anyone. I really like when people use their dogs as the flower girl and the ring bearers.
Yes.
Also, again, don't give your dogs the real rings either.
Yeah.
Just,
I think there was, oh gosh, so many years ago when, I don't know, that came across like, oh, they don't actually care. Oh, that's a good idea to give them fake rings. It was just sort of coming around as like, and I'm talking a lot of years ago, but it was just sort of coming around as a thing. Like, you don't, that's not a good idea.
Not
and I was like, you know what? That's a great piece of advice.
That isn't wise, is it?
That isn't wise.
Okay, we're going to take another break, and we're going to come back, and we're going to talk about the mob, the fog, the mog, and the fog.
And the officiants. And welcome back. My first time bringing this back. It's so hard. I have to practice that a few times.
Now we're talking about Laura's favorite part. Well, we've all been waiting for. I
wouldn't say it was my favorite part, but the acronyms are just kind of funny.
They are funny. So we have the mob, mother of the bride, the fob, the father of the bride, the mog, mother of the groom, and the fog, the father of the groom.
Because we're just too lazy of a society now to just say mother of the bride.
My dad was so into being the fob. Like, it was, he like would not, it was never father of the bride.
Just call me fob.
It was a fucking thing. Like, it was like, so where's the fob gonna be? Like, to the point where I was like, oh my God, like, do you need a plaque? Like, I don't understand. Like, do you need a name tag at this point? Like, are you ever going to introduce yourself by your name? He was very proud of the fob title.
Hi, I'm the fob.
I mean,
nice to meet you.
Yeah. Like, hey, is it okay for the fob to wear a bow tie? And I was like, what is happening?
That's so funny.
Like,
because
why are you referring to yourself not only in third person, but like as the fob?
Yeah, that's so funny, because even being in the industry for the amount of years that I have been, when Jackie got married, not that I didn't want to be the mob, but I was just like, oh, I'm the mother of the bride. Like,
I will not be
like,
the mob.
this is my elitist title
Thank
for
you
the weekend.
so
I
much.
am the mother of the bride.
And I will be clutching my pearls and wearing my white gloves. Thank you. So the mother of the bride, let's talk about her, because I feel like, aside from the bride, she is the one that takes on, and I'm so sorry to do this to grooms, because I really do.
It's just true.
But
I mean,
you're like, but it's true.
Well, I mean,
they're
it is
dumb.
not that we want it to be true. It just is.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a
There's
societal
always,
thing, I think.
Yeah. Even in like, if there's two grooms, one of those grooms is still taking on more of the wedding stress than the other. And
Right.
every partner situation,
Mhm.
there's one person who is taking on more of that
Right.
than the other person.
Right, but it's just
And their
such
parent is typically the one, and typically the mom is the one who
Right.
is taking on that stress with them as
right.
well.
It's a stereotype that
Yeah.
has been ingrained in our society,
Well,
and it's impossible to get away from it.
yes and no. When you have, if I were to look at me and my brother,
Mhm.
for examples,
Mhm.
I have been planning my wedding since I was 9 years old. I don't think my brother has once thought about
Right.
what his wedding day is going to
Well,
look like.
I'm saying it's a stereotype
But it
that
also
we've
is true. I
it
mean, it's
yeah, it's a
not
true stereotype,
yeah.
but and I think we have made
just like women are smarter than men. That stereotype is true as well.
I think we have made progress and advances
Yeah.
in kind of changing that dialogue a little bit.
Yeah.
But I mean, I also want to say like things it is what it is, and that's not one of my favorite sayings, but there is a bride and there is a mother of the bride, and that somebody has to take the lead,
Yeah.
and typically that is
Yeah.
who it is.
So the mother of the bride, like I said, takes on like that stress. She's going to be there. When we're talking about the wedding day, she's going to be the one who, with the maid of honor,
Mhm.
is kind of that person of contact, helping, kind of guide the bride, like, okay, this is what we're doing next. This is what we're doing next, keeping her calm. I had a full blown panic attack to my mom
Well,
on my wedding day.
that just
So
made me think of something funny. Like even if the bride is the person who's dreamt of her wedding and planned everything
Oh,
and done
yeah.
everything, she's still going to be like, "Mom, what do we do?" Even if the mom has like been a hands
Oh,
off kind of
yeah.
like, "Honey, whatever you
I
want,
trust you.
you're
This
paying
is
for
your
this yourself."
day.
Yeah, she's still going to be like, "Mom, help! What do I
Yeah.
do?
Yeah.
The makeup isn't the way I wanted it."
Yeah. I hate this. What am I going to do?
Yeah,
Yeah. So she's really, really that support person, especially on that day. Yeah. I mean, we love our moms.
yeah.
And then the fob, good old fobs. And this is where we've seen this, a lot of couples now are either not having their father walk them down the aisle, or they are doing it like halfway or whatever, because
Yeah.
it is, based off of,
He just does what everybody tells him to do.
yeah, bless his little heart.
Bless his heart.
We want him to do whatever he is told to do, and then also write that check. So it is what it is.
Yeah.
But if you do have that moment, he will walk you down the aisle. Typically at this point, they are still paying majority of the wedding. Maybe you can find those really cool couples that they split everything 50-50.
Mhm.
That would, hopefully now
Yeah.
you're like, fuck
Well,
yeah, let's.
can I just say one thing about both sets of parents as a parent?
Okay.
Because we've talked about this before. And yes, it is the couple's day. It is their
Yeah.
wedding day.
I know what you're gonna say.
And I don't care if they're paying for it or if the parents are paying for it. I don't care how all of the details are divvied out. But when your child, your offspring is taking the next big, huge moment in life
Yeah.
to kind of leave
Yeah.
their nucleus family and start their own new family.
Your verbiage and vocabulary today has been like on point.
I'm so smart. That is, and I just had this conversation this morning with Mateo about something completely unrelated to weddings, but those are big moments for parents too.
Absolutely.
And I'm not saying that they should overshadow the couple.
No.
But I think just to all the parents out there, I got your back.
Yeah. I do too.
Those are just big moments
I
for the
agree.
parents as well.
I agree. Any milestone in your child's life, it's like
you're proud of them.
Yes.
And there's a, if you have a label that's a mob and a fob,
Yeah.
that just tells you right there it's an important
role.
Yeah.
And because the mother of the bride and the father of the bride are typically still the ones paying for the wedding, they will give a speech or a toast at the actual wedding reception. The MOG is there for the mother-son dance.
Did you just hear that deep breath? The MOG is the evil stepsister in most situations.
Nobody really likes her. She causes all the drama. She's really awful. She's gonna wear black or white to your wedding. There is no in between.
It's a power struggle.
She's foul. She's foul.
Oh,
I'm totally
gosh.
kidding. But she is there. I will say, I think, because typically the groom's family is the one that pays for the reception, or no, the rehearsal dinner.
The rehearsal, yeah.
So that is where the groom's family his
It's
parents,
their time to shine.
yeah, that is where they will do their toasts and their
Not
speeches.
outdo or have a power struggle or
No.
competition. That's just their part of the responsibility.
Yes, that is part of their responsibility. So that is where they will have that. I think too, if you have a good relationship, for any brides listening, if you have a good relationship with your future mother-in-law, you should invite her to get ready with you that day.
Oh my gosh, I'm so glad you said that, because I have heard some examples of that not happening.
Yeah.
And that breaks my heart.
Yeah.
It really does, because you have this, her son who's getting married, in a traditional relationship, and like all the guys are all there. So there's
Yeah.
no place for a
For her to
woman,
go.
yeah,
'Cause
by
it's
herself. And then you have all the bride with all
Yeah.
her girls and her mom and all this wonderful celebration, and aunts will be in there,
Yeah.
and everybody comes in and pokes their head in
Yeah.
and whatever. And yeah, that's a really, if you have a good relationship, even if you don't, try to make an effort in some
Yeah.
way. But I think that was, otherwise, where's she by herself
Yeah,
getting her
because
hair and
the
makeup done?
two dads are going to be with the groom
Yes.
and getting
then,
ready, because the dad has a role, so he has to get
and
ready.
if they're,
They're taking pictures.
if there's sisters involved, what, they may be part of the bridal party. So
Yeah.
the mother of the groom could really almost be left out
Yeah.
completely.
I just think it's a good time to really unify and bring everybody together.
Yeah.
Just extend an invitation out. Like Ryan's mom passed away years before we got married, but her best friend was the woman that we asked to kind of fill that role. And we did. I asked her to be involved with everything. And she had already made breakfast plans the day of the wedding with another friend that is in town, yada, yada, yada. But she did end up coming up before the wedding. So just extend that invitation.
Yeah.
And then for the father of the groom, they're the ones that have it the easiest.
Yeah.
They don't have really any responsibilities.
I know.
They're chilling. If you can pick a role to be at a wedding,
I would say so.
father of the groom.
I volunteer as tribute.
They are the ones that are like, yeah, I'll do a speech. And typically their speech at the rehearsal dinner is going to be like, welcome to the family. We love you. And then the mother of the groom is going to be like,
or they're like, bye, buddy.
Yeah,
take good care of her.
Later. Don't ask for money later. Then
Yeah.
we're done here. You're a man. Bye-bye. But like they're the ones that are straight. I
agree.
Chilling. They're enjoying life. They're like, yep, done. Boom. So if you can pick a role, if your best friend says, hey, will you be my maid of honor?
Let's have
I love you
opposite
so
day.
much. Then you can say, you know what? Thank you so much for that honor. I accept being part of the wedding party.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to choose to be the father of the groom.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I think we should have opposite day.
Yeah.
Opposite day. Never mind.
Oh, no, that's what I said on Mother's Day. I was like, I'm going to be the dad today.
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
I'm going to be the dad. Today, I'm the dad. I'm not changing diapers. I mean, no, I will. Ryan changes diapers, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I will not be the default parent today.
Right.
I'm going
that's always been
to be the dad. Mom, nope.
Who's that?
She's not here today.
She left.
Happy Mother's Day. And then we can't forget the officiant. They are the ones that actually marry the couple, do the whole ceremony. And this could be whether you get married in a religious setting, a non-religious setting, if you get married at the fucking courthouse. Thank you. If you get married, wherever you get married, someone has got to actually be the one to marry you. Otherwise, you're not married. So I hope I'm not breaking that to anybody.
Sorry to spoiler.
Be
a
to
spoiler.
bust your bubble, but someone has to marry you. Again, listen to our vows and speeches episode that we did.
That was really good. No, I know I said that already. I'm sorry, but anywho, recording this episode right after that one, I feel like it makes me want to say, go back and listen to the one.
Listen to that one. The officiant does have a big role in the wedding. We should do an episode on, it may not be a full episode, but like how, like going about being an officiant and like tipping your officiant and paying your officiant. And if you get married in a religious ceremony, like yada, yada, yada. Anyway, so they're the ones that actually do. So if there's something that you want to say, if there's anything like a traditional sand pouring, candle lighting, fucking feet washing, I don't know. I don't know what you're doing, jumping over things, under things, doing the Macarena. I don't care what you choose to do at your wedding, but the officiant needs to know about it. If there's any tidbits, if there's a moment of silence you want to give to somebody, you just need to make sure that you're passing that right along.
Yeah, of course. I concur.
Ditto. Well, it's been another great episode. You're welcome.
Cheers to that shit.
Cheers to that shit. Make sure you guys follow us. like our stuff, subscribe, comment, share. YouTube, Spotify, Instagram, TikTok, Apple Podcasts, the blah, the blue, the blue.
All the things.
Every Tuesday.
All the things. And if you have any stories of wedding party
responsibility
roles,
fails.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Let us know. We love to talk about that.
Stories@cheersthatshit.com. Bye.
Bye.